Picture this, a frozen forest in 1944, where German soldiers, battle-hardened and confident, march toward what they believe will be a crushing victory. Suddenly, the sky erupts. Shells don't just hit the ground, they explode in midair, raining deadly steel with pinpoint precision. No cover, no escape, just chaos. This wasn't just another battle, this was the moment a secret American weapon changed warfare forever. Want to know how a single decision and a revolutionary technology stopped Hitler's last gamble in its tracks? Stick with us to uncover the untold story of the Battle of the Bulge. Watch till the end. It's December 16, 1944, in the icy hills of Mona, Germany. The ground shakes as American artillery roars, but something feels wrong. German troops, veterans of the brutal Eastern Front, freeze in terror. These aren't ordinary shells. They detonate above them, shredding entire formations with a storm of metal fragments. Foxholes, trees, ditches, none offer safety. This is no random barrage, it's a new kind of death, delivered with chilling accuracy. The Germans don't know it yet, but they've just met the proximity fuse, a weapon so advanced it seems to think for itself. At the heart of this chaos stands Colonel Oscar Alfred Axelson, a name you've likely never heard but one that changed history. Commanding the 406th Artillery Group, he faces an impossible choice. His small 38th Cavalry Squadron is being overrun by the 326th Volksgrenadier Division. Conventional artillery isn't enough, the Germans are too many, too fast. Against direct orders, Axelson makes a daring call: unleash the Allies' most guarded secret, proximity-fused shells. These aren't your typical rounds. Each shell carries a tiny radar system, a marvel of engineering that detects its target and explodes at the perfect height, multiplying its killing power by 50. One man's gamble is about to rewrite the rules of war. Let's set the stage. It's the Battle of the Bulge, Hitler's desperate final offensive. He's thrown everything into it: 200,000 soldiers, 1,000 tanks, and nearly 2,000 artillery pieces, all hidden in the fog-soaked Ardennes forest. The plan? Smash through the Allies, recapture Antwerp, and turn the tide of a war Germany is losing. At 5:30 a.m. on December 16, German guns unleash hell, firing 1,600 rounds per minute across an 85-mile front. American intelligence is caught flat-footed. They didn't see this coming. Many U.S. units are either fresh recruits or exhausted troops sent to this quiet sector to recover. The Germans achieve total surprise, and it looks like Hitler's gamble might pay off. But back in Mona, Axelson's decision changes everything. The proximity fuses turn the tide. German soldiers, trained to dodge traditional artillery by hugging cover, find no refuge. Shells burst 30 to 50 feet above, creating cones of shrapnel that blanket the battlefield. Veterans who survived Stalingrad are cut down in seconds, behind trees, in trenches, anywhere they hide. The psychological shock is as deadly as the shrapnel. To the Germans, it feels like the Americans have weaponized the air itself. This isn't just a battle, it's a slaughter orchestrated by science. So, what's the secret behind this game changer? The proximity fuse is a triumph of American ingenuity. Imagine a device no bigger than a coffee can, packed with 130 electronic components, including miniature vacuum tubes that survive the 20,000 G-force of being fired from a cannon. When launched, the shell's acceleration breaks a glass ampoule, activating a tiny battery that powers a radar system. This radar detects the ground or enemy troops and triggers the explosion at the ideal height. It's like giving each shell a brain. Developed by Dr. Merle Tuve at Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab, disguised as a rundown car dealership in Maryland, this project rivaled the Manhattan Project in secrecy and ambition. 3% of America's physicists worked on it, unable to tell even their families what they were building. The engineering is mind-blowing. Vacuum tubes, built for living room radios, were redesigned to withstand cannon fire, extreme spins, and freezing temperatures. Dr. James Van Allen's team crafted tubes as small as pencil erasers, laying the groundwork for modern electronics. By December 1944, American factories like RCA, Sylvania, and General Electric are churning out 40,000 fuses a day. The cost? A staggering $1 billion in 1940s dollars, second only to the atomic bomb. But the investment pays off. These fuses don't just improve artillery, they revolutionize it, making every shot up to 10 times deadlier. Axelson's unauthorized use sparks a crisis. Orders strictly limited proximity fuses to anti-aircraft roles, fearing the Germans might capture and reverse engineer them. But the results at Mona are undeniable. The German advance stalls, bodies pile up, and survivors are left reeling. Word reaches General Eisenhower, who's grappling with the collapsing Ardennes front. On December 19, he requests permission to use the fuses everywhere. By December 21, restrictions are lifted, and proximity-fused shells flood the battlefield. American logistics shine, delivering these high-tech rounds to units across the Ardennes in days. Nowhere is their impact clearer than at Bastogne, where the 101st Airborne Division is surrounded, outnumbered, and holding a vital crossroads. The 463rd Parachute Field Artillery Battalion, armed with 75 mm howitzers, fires 7,676 rounds between December 19 and 31, many proximity-fused. German assaults crumble under airbursts that wipe out entire platoons. On December 22, after General McAuliffe's legendary nuts reply to a German surrender demand, proximity fuses turn open fields into killing zones. The All-African-American 969th Artillery Battalion, with their 155 mm howitzers, creates a deadly perimeter around Bastogne. German prisoners later confessed their units lost cohesion before even reaching American lines, panicked by explosions that seemed to track them. The Sauer River near Echternach becomes a grim showcase of this technology. On December 25, General George S. Patton watches as a German battalion tries to cross the frozen river under cover of darkness and fog. Traditional artillery would need precise spotting, giving the Germans time to scatter. But proximity fuses don't need spotters. Shells burst overhead, and Patton counts 702 bodies when the smoke clears, an entire battalion erased in minutes. In his memoir, War as I Knew It, he calls the posit ammunition devastating. German soldiers refuse river crossings after this, their morale shattered by a weapon they can't comprehend. The Ardennes forests, which the Germans relied on for cover, become death traps. Proximity fuses detonate above the canopy, turning trees into secondary weapons. Shattered branches become lethal wooden spears, flying at hundreds of feet per second. A single 155 mm shell can clear a tennis court-sized area of life. German tactics, spreading out or bunching up, fail against this 360-degree kill zone. Centuries of forest fighting wisdom are rendered obsolete. There's no hiding from a weapon that sees you from above. How does it work? Each fuse houses a tiny radio transmitter, operating at 180 to 220 MHz, sending waves that bounce off targets, soldiers, vehicles, even the ground. When the signal hits a preset strength, the shell detonates at the perfect height, 30 feet for 105 mm howitzers, 50 feet for 155 mm guns, 70 feet for rare 240 mm shells. These heights were perfected at Aberdeen Proving Ground, ensuring maximum destruction. The fuses survive 3,000-degree gun barrels, sub-zero skies, and spins that would shred ordinary electronics. Their 80% reliability rate is a testament to American engineering. The Germans' failure to understand this weapon is their downfall. In December, they captured 20,000 fuses from an American depot but dismissed them as impossible. German engineers, who once led proximity fuse research, can't believe vacuum tubes could survive artillery fire. Before the war, their own prototypes at Rheinmetall and AEG Berlin showed 95% reliability, but Hitler's order to cancel long-term projects killed their program. By 1945, Hermann Göring admits Germany was months from fielding their own fuses. Their arrogance and missteps hand the Allies a decisive edge. Christmas Day 1944 brings no mercy. German supply lines, field kitchens, and assembly areas are obliterated by proximity-fused barrages that need no spotters. The 420th Armored Field Artillery Battalion fires over 1,000 rounds, their M7 Priest howitzers turning night into day. Poor weather, once a German advantage, is irrelevant. Proximity fuses make artillery a 24/7 terror, striking without warning. German soldiers, trained to move under fog or darkness, find no safety. The psychological toll is crushing. Death comes randomly, relentlessly, from above. At Malmedy, even Otto Skorzeny's elite SS commandos, veterans of daring missions like rescuing Mussolini, meet their match. On December 21, disguised in American uniforms, they attempt a bold strike. Proximity-fused shells don't care about disguises. The airbursts decimate their ranks, and survivors, indoctrinated to believe in German superiority, break. Some charge American lines, choosing death over the relentless bombardment. This isn't just defeat, it's a collapse of morale among Hitler's best. The production of these fuses is a story of its own. Over 100 American companies, from Crosley to General Electric, pivot to fuse manufacturing. Women dominate the workforce, assembling 130 component fuses under magnifying glasses, testing every solder joint. Working 12-hour shifts, 6 days a week, they produce one fuse every 2 seconds by December 1944. Early fuses cost $732 each, more than a worker's yearly wage, but mass production drops that to $18 without sacrificing quality. The result? 22 million fuses, 200,000 used in the Bulge alone. This industrial might, paired with secrecy rivaling the atomic bomb, ensures the fuses remain a surprise. Patton, ever the tactician, sees the fuse's potential. His Third Army, racing to relieve Bastogne, pioneers time on target barrages, where multiple artillery units fire so shells land simultaneously. Dozens of proximity-fused shells exploding together create apocalyptic destruction. German soldiers call it the bell toll of death. From December 22 to 29, Patton's forces fire 50,000 fused shells, breaking German lines and opening Bastogne's corridor. Patton later writes, "The funny fuse won the Battle of the Bulge for us." At Elsenborn Ridge, the fuses shine again. The 2nd and 99th Infantry Divisions face the 6th SS Panzer Army, including the elite 1st SS Panzer Division Leibstandard Adolf Hitler. From December 17 to 19, American artillery fires 160,000 rounds, 40,000 proximity fused. These account for 60% of over 5,000 German casualties. Entire companies vanish in seconds, their bodies piling so high that later waves climb over them. After 3 days, the SS offensive collapses, broken by American technology. On January 1, 1945, the Luftwaffe's Operation Bodenplatte targets Allied airfields with 900 fighters. It's a bold move, but returning German planes face proximity-fused anti-aircraft fire. Of 277 aircraft lost, 172 fall to these shells, which detonate with uncanny precision. The Luftwaffe, already weakened, is crippled. The fuse's anti-aircraft success, boosting V-1 flying bomb kills from 17% to 79%, shows their versatility. By January 1945, secrecy is impossible. Too many shells have been fired, too many soldiers have seen their effects. On January 6, the War Department allows limited disclosure. The New York Times reports a new shell boosting American artillery, without revealing the tech. German intelligence finally wakes up, but it's too late. A January 10 report admits the radio-controlled fuses are devastating, with no countermeasures. Field Marshal Gerd von Rundstedt later says, "The proximity fuse was decisive, our attacks broke down because of artillery that seemed to have eyes." General Otto von Manschufel adds, "The new shells caused panic even among veterans." The numbers are staggering: 200,000 proximity-fused shells fired, causing 15,000 to 20,000 German casualties, up to 20% of their total losses. These shells were 5 to 10 times deadlier than conventional ones, needing no spotters in fog or snow. But behind the stats lies tragedy. German soldiers, many teenage conscripts, died facing a weapon they couldn't fathom. American workers, unaware of their creation's purpose, faced stress and accidents in factories shrouded in secrecy. Yet, the fuses saved countless Allied lives. The Bulge cost 19,000 American deaths. Without the fuses, how many more? A prolonged war could have meant thousands more Holocaust victims before liberation. The proximity fuse's legacy endures. Its tiny vacuum tube sparked modern electronics. Its quality control set industry standards. Dr. Van Allen's work led to discovering Earth's radiation belts. The radar tech evolved into guided missiles and smart weapons. Every precision munition today traces back to those Ardennes shells, the first to sense and decide when to detonate. The Bulge, ending January 25, 1945, saw Germany lose 100,000 men for nothing. American losses hit 75,000, but the fuses turned the tide. Eisenhower noted that German possession of such tech could have made D-Day impossible. In the frozen Ardennes, warfare entered the technological age, and the proximity fuse proved science could win wars. What did you think of this incredible story? The proximity fuse didn't just win a battle, it reshaped how wars are fought. If you love diving into this hidden chapter of history, hit that like button, share this story with a friend, and subscribe for more tales of ingenuity and courage that changed the world. Let us know in the comments what other World War II innovations you want to explore. Thanks for watching.